Always something, you know what I'm saying? Always something.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah, the technology. Technology.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, it's always something when it comes to college basketball.
Yeah, the March Madness, man.
Setting in.
My Sooners, the March Sadness.
Well,
hey, your women are in, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, when it's me cheering for North Carolina State, you know there's some madness going on. Us Cougar fans, we don't like North Carolina State.
Man,
anyway,
you shouldn't be cheering against them. They're one of the reasons we didn't make it.
Yes, I know. I was cheering for them because I wanted them to beat North Carolina, which they did, thinking that North Carolina would get knocked out of the #1 spot, and maybe Iowa State might slide in there, but it didn't happen. So anyway,
Oregon,
guys.
Yeah, Oregon winning their tournament, and winning their tournament, and NC State was just very, very bad. Now, you can only blame yourself because, if we beat TCU, it doesn't matter, but
true.
We'll see. I don't know. It's the first time since the mid-'70s that we've gone 3 years in a row without a tournament.
Oklahoma? Wow.
So the first time since they went to 64. I think it went to 64 in like 83 or something. Or was the year that was that 64 or was that 32 that year when Houston lost to NC State?
Oh, 64. I was 64.
Yeah. So 64 was early 80s. Since then, though, they've never gone 3. So not a good streak. But you had the magic of Nebraska. They've made it. When's the last time Nebraska made it?
Nebraska has made it, but go ahead, Kulik. Tell him the stat, Kulik. I know you know it about Nebraska.
2014.
Yeah.
Was their last dance, and as always, whenever they do make it in, it was a short-lived dance.
They've never won a game, have they?
They have never won a game in the tournament. Men's have never won a game in the tournament.
Men's have never won a game, and I think they are the only Division I team to never have won a game in the tournament.
Definitely Power 5.
Really?
Of the teams that have made it to the tournament. Okay. So because there's plenty of teams that haven't made it to the tournament, but of the teams that have made it to the tournament, I believe Nebraska is the only one that does not have a win. Mm-hmm. But that'll change.
Longwood has a win. Longwood's won a tournament game. I don't know if Longwood ever has.
I think it's Power 5.
Oh, is it Power
5? Okay, I believe that.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah, it's not anybody
because has Longwood been in the tournament before?
I don't know, but I don't think they've ever won one. So
yeah. So, but
Power 5, yes, I could believe it. Power 5.
We'll get our statistician to check that stat for you. We'll have it for you later on in the show. Okay. Let me get on the phone with him.
I have Longwood winning it all. So.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Oh my gosh!
That would be quite a run. Man, what a devastating! What a devastating that'd be for the Cougars.
Oh my gosh! I don't know what I would do. You guys would have to hold me back. I do not know what I would do if that happened.
That is crazy. What the Trev Albert Bowl with both men and women. The women play in the first round, and then it's Nebraska and A&M. Both of them.
Nebraska and A&M.
Yeah. The Trev Albert game. I mean, the reason Albert.
Yeah, I'm not calling it as a fellow Cornhusker. I'm not calling it the Trev Bowl.
But it's just bizarre that both times. That's weird, man.
It's not bizarre or weird at all. It's politics and drama by the.
But I don't really think that. Not a lot of people probably even know that he went to A&M. I mean, there's a lot of people that are watching.
Oh yeah, it's big news right now.
Well, if you follow sports, but if you're just kind of a casual fan, might not even know who he is.
Well, that's why they don't have casual fans in the picking committee.
Yeah, they have like lawyers and people that have never played sports. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. People who think they're in the know, who have paid enough money to sit on the team.
Been a judge on a bench for long enough or something. But I guess the reason he did that, I heard, doesn't they have like an interim president? They don't, and it's kind of there's just not real, and there's some issues of why Albert left.
So there's a bunch of speculation going on right now. The Regents guy, he was a big Scott Frost fan. He didn't agree with Scott Frost firing and thinks that Scott Frost should still be the coach.
The guy's an idiot then.
Well,
I mean, you got to be a complete jackass to think that.
Well, totally.
So the rumors are he had some beef with Trev Alberts, and so I think Trev Alberts did a good pick for himself and said, "Okay, bye."
Yeah, I mean, had to be a lot of money too to leave. I mean, that's a legend leaving to go and.
I'll tell you right now, Matt Rule, head football coach, people were trying to pick him up today. In the last couple of days, and he turned him down flat. So,
oh really?
Yep, they were trying to get him to jump ship.
Albert's been there 3 or 4 years.
It's about right.
Yeah, because he was Nebraska Omaha for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, well was just real quick. I guess the any crazy. It was a few craziness. I was very shocked at how bad Houston got beat. That was.
I was kind of shocked, but not too shocked.
I wasn't shocked they lost, but I was just shocked that it was it was not a close game at all.
It wasn't as bad of a beating as it really looked. They kind of gave up in the second half a little bit.
Yeah.
The Juwan Howard, who injured his knee the game before, only played 13 minutes. He's a huge piece of he's their starting center basically. He's a huge piece of their offense and defense. He only played about 13 minutes all game. They have the sad news is, like we all know, we've talked about it a number of times, their depth has been depleted. So for them to come out and play 3 games in a row just hurt them. Their defense was good, but they couldn't score a point. Their legs were gone. Their jump shots were all falling short and everything. It was just terrible on the offensive end. But they retained the number 1 seed in the South, and they get to come to Dallas. Too bad my wife is thinking we need to go to Nebraska for Easter that weekend. But we'll see what we can do to maybe not go and attend some of those games. But anyway,
is Dallas the regional finals?
It's the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games.
Okay, yeah, that's Easter weekend. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Juwan Howard, he got fired from Michigan. When you lose,
he did.
He only won 8 games. So,
well, when you stink, you got to expect that. But
won the conference like 2 years ago.
His first year, I believe.
Keyword technically, you could tell your wife that you could have Nebraska Easter in round 2.
True. We'll see what happens. Either way, we're pulling for Nebraska, right? Over A&M.
Where are they? So where's the Nebraska? Where are those teams? Where's A&M and
Memphis.
Nebraska and Houston?
They're playing in Memphis.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's about 10 hours from here. I might hop in a car and do that on the weekend. But what I really want to talk about is the whole shooting match of all the games here. I think what I'll do is, well, first of all, as everybody knows, I'm going to pull this up real quick here, see what your opinions are of this. This is the chart of upsets. And we all know that the big upset every year is some number 5 team gets beat by a number 12 team.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know? And every once in a while, the 6 beats an 11, but the big one is that 12-5. So I want to pay attention to all the 12-5 matchups as we go through all of the brackets here. Sound good, guys?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, let's start in the West. The West, we're looking at North Carolina. They have no clue. Let's see. Hold on. Let me share that with you so that you guys can see it. Yep, there it is, the West. So in the West, we've got North Carolina. They don't know who they're going to play yet, but they're the number 1 seed there. Anybody have a problem with North Carolina being a number 1 seed?
No.
I do, damn it.
I mean,
lost games.
I mean, Iowa State.
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa State probably had a case, but Iowa State's non-conference was terrible, though. It was like 300th or something.
Yeah, but that was 4 months ago. What does
Yeah,
that
but
have to do with today?
that you got to.
I understand. I
I
understand. But
mean,
if I'm in the
unfortunately,
room,
that's what they look at when you're making that decision. That was
if
the
I'm in the
difference.
room with the guys, that's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying to them. That was 4 months ago. That was October. That was November and a little bit of December before we got into conference play. We played in the best conference and we finished second. I really felt that once they beat Houston the way they did, they had a shot at taking over that spot, especially since North Carolina lost.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
They lost to an unranked team.
Yeah.
Yeah, a team that was hot though. They won,
Well,
they won
true.
5 games to win it.
But
So.
I understand the whole non-conference thing, but the question is, what have you done for me lately? And the answer is, we lost to an unranked team, and we're supposed to be one of the number 1 seeds in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I see it both. I see an argument either way. So
just seeing how the next seed was going to be Arizona, I could see that. I could see that 1 and 2 being switched there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. I'm glad somebody's on my side, even though the committee wasn't. Well, after taking a look at all of these games, first question is, let's look at that 12-5 matchup. Do we see an upset there?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Grand
Absolutely,
Canyon.
I do. So
Grand Canyon.
That is my first of 2 12-5 upsets.
Oh.
And I have I have Rick Pitino's kid beating Clemson in the first round. He's the New Mexico.
Oh, do you? Oh, do you now? Well, I agree with you there. I think that's going to be a win too for New Mexico.
I got Nevada in an upset. I've got Nevada, but I do have. I think St. Mary's probably.
So on that 12-5 matchup,
go ahead.
I watched Grand Canyon play their last game, and they looked pretty good. Now, to be fair, I haven't watched St. Mary play, but watching Grand Canyon play, that made me choose that upset. Mm-hmm. Knowing those stats with the 12-5, that made me choose that one.
It probably won't happen, but I'd love to see Long Beach State win just because that coach situation. He's the one that.
Oh yeah.
He's been there 17 years, and he decided to part ways right before the tournament, and then he wins the tournament. What happens if he beats Arizona? Because Arizona, they are one of those big boy teams that sometimes screw up early in the tournament when they're 2, 3, 4 seed. They are notorious for doing. They did it last year. I think they lost in the first round as a 2 seed. And what's interesting though, the guy that coaches Arizona was the right-hand man to Pugh at Gonzaga for like 20 years. He was the number 2 guy. And since he left, Arizona's been a better team in the regular season
than Gonzaga.
But in the tournament, Gonzaga's been better in the tournament.
Yes.
So we'll see. But yeah, that was the guy. He was there 20 years for Pew. He probably thought he was going to take over eventually.
Exactly. But so what we've got here is Kulik is calling a 12-5 upset. Awesome. And I'm going to call with Sooner that New Mexico Clemson upset. I think that 11-6 matchup, I think New Mexico's got a really good shot at winning there.
I also have that.
Do you? Awesome.
Awesome. I have Nevada as upset, and I have New Mexico in the first round.
Yeah. I think the Dayton Flyers are going to make a little noise in this tournament. I think they're gonna do a little job there and win their first game against Nevada. I know Nevada's a tough squad. I've actually seen them play as well. But I'm going to stick with my upset, New Mexico over Clemson. And again, not happy with that number 1 pick there. So, nah.
I think if I would have taken Iowa State over Arizona for one personally. If you're not going to put North Carolina, I think Iowa State deserved it over Arizona.
Definitely.
But being in the West, where Iowa State is not, they pretty much had to decide between the North Carolina and Arizona.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. All right, moving along. I think we're going to go try to do the East. Let's see what we got here. Is that the East? Yes, it sure is. There's the East.
will
What do we
tell
got? We
you right
got UConn. We got UConn Stetson. You got UConn as number one. First of all, do we agree that UConn should be a number one seed?
yes.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
totally,
They've been
totally,
a top
totally.
3 or 4 team the whole year. So
Now, I will have to tell you, I will not be happy if they win it. I'm not a fan of back-to-back teams. I want the tournament to be, to be a surprise. I don't think they're that dominant where they will have that shot to win it this year.
that's hard
But
to do. That's hard to do. But they are a
it is
lot
very
better
hard to do.
coming into the tournament than they were last year coming into it. Because last year they were
True.
like a 5 seed, and this
Yeah.
year they have been just rolling.
Consistent all year long.
Yeah.
Let's look at that 12-5 San Diego UAB. Don't tell me anybody got UAB.
Nope. That is, I think San Diego State's just too strong. They pretty much annihilated their conference, and I mean they, I just think that they're too strong for UAB to beat them. I actually did watch some highlights of UAB. They don't look terrible, but I don't see that one happening.
No,
They
agreed.
upset. They knocked South Florida out. South Florida, I think, was the top team
Mhm.
all year, and then they didn't make it because of that loss.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Which is crazy with some of these mid majors and these tournaments. Some of the teams that have made it just because they've won the tournament, knocking out
Yeah.
the best team in their the best team in
Yeah.
their conference all year long. Pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
but that's not really a
It-
tiny conference. That's just that's a group of 5. This is not a conference that has Longwood and all that over there. That's a pretty
oh yeah,
decent
no,
conference. So
no, it is, it is,
but,
it is.
um,
The any other upset you see in this category in the East?
Actually, Florida Atlantic beat Northwestern wouldn't exactly be an upset.
no.
Yes, I have Drake beating Washington State.
I am totally with you on that.
I
I
went
am
with the
totally
Cougars,
with you
but
on that.
I don't know. I don't know much about either. But
And
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's exactly what I have. I think Drake is coming in on a little bit of a high, and I really do think that they've got a shot. They're on the upswing.
And I have is it Duquesne?
what? Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Sorry,
Duquesne.
everybody. Apologize for that. I have Duquesne upsetting BYU.
No way.
Yep.
This is the first time Duquesne's been in the tournament in like 40 years or something.
And that's and I know that they're not normals in there, but I have that upset as well.
I don't know. BYU was pretty good in the Tardis conference. I'd be shocked if Duquesne wins that game.
I would be shocked.
That'd be
too.
very disappointing.
Yes,
BYU's a lot better.
Yes,
That's a team that would not have made it if they were not even close to making the tournament, except they won in an upset.
Except they won their conference, the conference tournament. Yeah,
Tournament in an upset. They were not.
Yeah, totally. All right, so in the East, we all believe that UConn is the number one team. We think that the 12-5 matchup is safe in this division. One of us thinks Duquesne is going to upset BYU, and it looks like I think we're all in the same boat about Drake.
I took Washington State.
You're going to take Washington State? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And of course, there's Iowa State down here over South Dakota State.
Yeah.
We think we're going to go with Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State look there. They're playing well.
South Dakota State's not a bad team. I watch a little bit of them because of all my family up in that area, but they don't have what it takes to beat Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
They drew a bad first match, but that's about as good as they were going to get. So
I hear you. All right, let's go ahead and go to the West. Go West, young man.
Go West,
and we will check out
the eventual
winners.
We just did the West.
No, we did not. We did the South and we did the. I'm sorry. We're going to go to the South. All right.
Yes.
We did the West and the East. We're going South now. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Southern.
And that's where my Houston Cougars are. Anybody think they should not be a number one seed?
No, they should be one.
No, I didn't think so. So let's look at that.
Not with the other choice being Marquette.
Yeah, no, not even close.
In the South,
it's just one of those. They got beat by the number 6 team in the country. Let's face it. Okay, yeah, it looked terrible, but it was still the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah, that was their first loss in like a month. So
they had won like 10 in a row, and I'm going to forgive them on that one. Like I said, I think they just came into that game tired. worn out and banged up. So a week, they don't play again until Friday at 9 p.m. A week of rest, they will be ready to rock and roll against the great Longwood. Well, let's take a look at the here it is, right, Kellen? Here's that other upset, right? You got James Madison over Wisconsin, don't you?
I do have James Madison.
I smell that one. I smell that one. Awesome.
Yep,
yeah, I agree with you. I think that's gonna happen as well. Oh no, excuse me. I'm not taking that one. I'm not going to take the bait on that one. I'm taking Wisconsin on that one. I like the Badgers. I think are going to do pretty well in this tournament. As a matter of fact, they're a Big Ten team. Yeah, I think they're going to be okay. James Madison looks tough though. They're one of those squads that you can. Yeah. That you can never count out. They're a bunch of fighters. I like them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at that wrong too. I just pulled my bracket up. I actually did not pick that one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't have any
I was confused. I was confusing that with my women's bracket.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I don't see an upset. I'm with you too, Sooner. I don't see an upset in this bracket either. I think it's going to go pretty much chalk.
I do.
Is it weird that I always thought it was odd that the play-in game, I understand the 2 16 teams, but I always thought it was weird that the play-in game was the 10 game. Well, why is it?
Yeah, I thought
why
it
is
was
the number
too.
10? Why does the 10 or 11 seed? It's been the 11 also. Have to play an extra game, but 12, 13, and 14 and 15 don't have to.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Every time they did that, I assumed that it would be literally the last 4 teams, and it would be
exactly
for the Longwood versus North Dakota. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's so weird. I never understood that. Why you're the 10 seed and yet you got to win another game, and there's 5 other teams.
It's a disadvantage to the 7 team. They don't know who they're going to play. They got to sit around and wait for that too.
they're going to play a pretty good team. You're not,
Yeah. That's the other thing.
I really don't understand why. When they said they were going to do it, I assumed it was going to be, 4 games of the real small schools, and then that would be that's who would play the number 1 seed. Right. I'm like, no, I have never understood why they did that.
I have NC State beating Texas Tech.
You have NC State.
Really? I think Tech's playing pretty well. I got them. I actually have Tech. I have Tech going to Sweet 16. So I like them. I like Tech.
Take a look at that.
I have them. I have them knocking off
Kentucky, huh?
Yeah. Calipari he's been choking year after year, and he's going to do it again. He has. He hasn't done anything in like 6 years.
I don't.
They've lost in the first or second round like 5 straight years.
I hear you. I don't have them going any further than Kentucky. I think Kentucky puts the brakes on Texas Tech. Although I'm a Big 12 guy, and I'd like to see Tech move on, but I don't think they're getting past Kentucky.
Yeah, but we'll see. Was it last year they lost to St. Pete, or was that 2 years ago? St. Peter's. A couple years ago, they St. Peter's. They're Kentucky's 3rd string is rated higher than their whole team, and they lost.
They lost, yes.
I mean, he is paid like he's Nick Saban, and he doesn't even close to Nick Saban.
So Kulik, did you see the game that NC State played in the finals there?
I did. I watched that game.
Man, oh man, they beat up. They just beat up North Carolina. That big guy in the middle just crushed him.
I don't know how a team's that average and then just gets hot and beats all the good teams. That's crazy.
And I think that's going to give them the confidence they need to at least win in the first round against.
Could very well be. It's tough to win 5 games in 5 nights, and that's what they did. 5 games in 5 nights.
And against the Tar Heels.
And against the Tar Heels too. Yeah.
That's what they did when they won the national title. They were the lowest ranked seed in the ACC tournament. And went all the way on, won the whole thing.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
It's just crazy.
I nearly throw something at my TV every year when I see that recap, that last 3 seconds of that game, which they show every year.
Lorenzo Charles.
Yep. I hear you.
It's like
anyway, what do you think about Western Kentucky Marquette?
I got Marquette. It's interesting. Some of these coaches that were sort of forced out of other jobs that kind of went to their old, he was kind of forced out of Texas, went to Marquette. Barnes was kind of forced out of Tennessee, and Texas and Tennessee could possibly play in the second
Play
round.
each other. Yeah.
In the second
Yeah,
round,
well,
if they both
well, guys,
win.
I got Marquette going a long way in this tournament.
I actually do as well.
Until they play Houston, of course. But
they stop at Kentucky for me.
Okay, no worries. Well, that's the South. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Midwest here. Let me switch it up.
I would like to say if there was any 2 versus 15 seed that I wanted to place a bet on an upset, it would be that Marquette Western Kentucky game, though.
Oh, you do?
Yep. I didn't choose it, but if I were a betting man, and I am, I would, and I for sure said I want to take a 15 seed versus 2 win upset. That's the one I would take.
Yeah. It's Shaka Smart. Yeah. He's taken VCU to the Sweet 16, but he never really did much at Texas.
No, he never did. That was actually one of those things that was a surprise. They spent a lot of money and a lot of energy to get him down there, and he really didn't do all that much.
He won I think he won a tournament. I don't know. He ever got past the second round when he was there?
I don't think so. I think it's tough times for him at Texas. But anyway, looking ahead here to the Midwest region, and we've got Purdue, the number 1 seed. Is Purdue worthy of a number 1 seed?
I would say so, yeah. But
yes,
I would
and
say
again, barely. But if I'm taking a look at against Wisconsin came to ball in the Big Ten tournament. Okay, they did, and they even showed that they took Illinois in the championship to the end almost. So I do think they do it. It's closer than not, but again, just comparing it to the other number 2 in the Midwest, Tennessee, I still got to give Purdue.
But I would if they played 1 or 2, I'd take Iowa State over Purdue. I'd pick them to win the game. I don't know. Purdue, they've had some problems in the tournament. I mean, but I don't think they'll lose in the first round like they did last year. I mean, they're not going to, Virginia lost in the first round. And I think the next year they won the national title. And I don't think they're going to win the national title, but I don't
think they are either.
I think they'll win a few games.
So let me go to the 12-5 matchup, McNeese State and Gonzaga, or as I like to say, girls Gonzaga.
I have Gonzaga, but what about the Big 12? Do you have TCU? I have them winning.
Yeah, so I think we were talking about Gonzaga, McNeese, 5-12. I do not have McNeese upsetting and beating Gonzaga. When it comes tournament time, I don't care where Gonzaga is ranked. They came to ball.
That coach at McNeese is good. He's the one that was at LSU and then got all the trouble off the court, but he won a lot of games there. He's their coach this year. So I don't think he will, but I will not be shocked because he's turning them around. He's a pretty good coach. I don't know if he's doing it legally there, but I know he's pretty good. But do you guys have TCU? I have them moving to the second round.
I do not. TCU. I have Utah State beating TCU.
Yep, Utah State beating TCU. Come on now.
I like TCU. I think TCU wins that game.
Yeah,
I don't know if TCU's won a tournament game.
I like TCU, but I think Utah State's going to get it.
What's his name? Then we'll then the Jayhawks, the mystery team, who one of the big names on CBS picked him to lose this game. Seth, what's his name? Not Kellogg, not the Seth something. He's always on the pre and post halftime. Seth something.
Yeah, I know
he's been he picked Samford, I think, in that game.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, it was one of those guys.
Kansas?
I think it was him.
Kansas?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. That's not out of the question. It just depends on how healthy Kansas is, because if you remember the tournament, their big guy, their center Hunter,
Hutchinson,
and their guard,
Hutchinson,
Hunter, and their guard Kevin McCullough or something like that.
Yeah.
They were both out with injuries. I'm going to call a dislocated shoulder not that bad of an injury. I mean, it's that bad for a little while till they put it back into place, and then it swells up, and then they get the swelling down, and then you're ready to go. And the other guy, I think it was just an ankle that he tweaked. But yeah, it's not out of the question. If those two guys aren't 100%, maybe you got a shot. If one of them doesn't play or whatever, maybe you got a shot. So I can see that happening.
Yeah. And then, I have an upset. I do have Oregon beating South Carolina. I think Oregon's playing really well. They were surprisingly won the Pac-12
Yeah,
tournament.
they won the Pac-12 tournament.
Knocked OU out, another one.
But that was only a 3-team tournament, right? The Pac-12 was that?
Yeah, next year it's Washington State versus Oregon State. They play 15 times.
Exactly. But
I made a joke when the Pac-12 was disbanding that, because from Oklahoma we like to rag on Lincoln Riley. I mean, now we're loving it because he was a real jerk about leaving and how he's anyway. But I posted like, the news just in: Lincoln Riley has decided to go back to the Pac-12 because they get an automatic bid to the playoffs because they only have to beat 2 teams.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's.
But no, I can see that. I can see Oregon making a run here at South Carolina.
I think that Altman's still there. Isn't it Altman still a coach? Isn't he still a coach there?
I'm not 100% sure.
He's been there a long time. And then Texas they play the winner of Colorado State, Virginia, and like you said, they don't know who they're playing, so they have to kind of scout for both. And wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if Texas lost. I don't think I didn't pick them, but wouldn't surprise me.
If it's Colorado State, I pick them over Texas. If it's Virginia, I'll choose Texas on that one.
Will you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're going to have Barnes back against Texas that in the second round if it plays out, which will be interesting. And he's done well at Tennessee. He's just not done great in the tournament. He's had some really good teams at Tennessee, but I don't think he's gotten past the Sweet 16 when he's had 1 and 2 seeds. So, and the Texas, they would, and that's a future matchup of next year, the SEC. So that'll be there's a lot right there. I mean, there's a lot of side stories to that one.
There is. Hey, but you skipped over my team, Creighton. I think Creighton Akron. I think Creighton's going to do a little damage in this tournament.
Yeah, Creighton winning that game.
I have Creighton going a long way.
I do.
I think I have them. I got them Sweet 16. Yeah, Sweet 16. Got Sweet 16.
Yeah, I have them taking out Purdue in the Elite 8 game. So
wait, do you have Creighton going to the Final Four as well, Keemer?
Yes, I do.
I have
Creighton. Both of y'all have Creighton.
Yes.
Wow.
But I have them taking out Gonzaga.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I have my kind of. Well, it's a 3 seed. I have Illinois making it to Final Four.
Oh, do you?
That's my 3, and then I have Houston, Tennessee, and Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Houston beating Carolina in the national title
game. Sounds good to me.
Don't give it all away yet. We got a couple
sounds
shows.
Good to me. We got a couple shows. Yeah, that's okay. He can,
He can edit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing.
Hold on. Let me get the beep. I've got beep in the Final Four. But
well, you guys were talking about Creighton, so I had to throw Illinois. They're not. That wouldn't be a huge thing. They're 3 seed, but they are. Them and I think Oklahoma are 2 of the teams that have won the most tournament games that have never won a national title. Illinois is I think has the most wins. I think OU's second of teams that have never won it, but won a lot of tournament games.
Yeah. Well, that, my friends, is all 4 of the regions. I think we've got some good picks and some maybe not so good picks. We've got some long shots going. I'm personally, we all 3 of us have our teams that we're pulling for. And I got to tell you, Kulik, I may be on the couch for a couple of days if Houston can get past Longwood and Nebraska gets past A&M. It could be a long, lonely night if Houston crushes Nebraska, which I think they will. But just to let you know, I know you're a Nebraska fan too.
Yeah.
That's going to be where we're putting.
What's
a lot
that
of
guy's
energy into
name?
that game.
The
Tamanaka.
Tamanaka. He's awesome.
Yes.
I like that.
Casey Tamanaka. Yep.
Tamanaka.
Tamanaka. I didn't realize that his parents are both national players in Japan as well.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
They are.
Yeah, mom and dad. Yeah.
And
Wow.
in Japan, I think I talked about this on the last show, but in Japan, they called him the Japanese Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Who, his dad or him?
Like
him.
No, him. Casey.
Him.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Casey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So his folks
guys,
played like in the Olympics for the Japanese teams.
I would guess so. That I think it's the Japanese national team that plays in the Olympics for Japan.
But I mean, they don't play anymore. I mean, that was years ago.
Oh no! I believe they're a little old for that now. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But back, they probably played in the 80s or 90s, probably.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
But so that's the story there.
They're both
Anything else?
basketball players in Japan.
I know. As we wind down the show here, I know that Kulik has some things he wants to say about the women's bracket, and I do too, actually. But who are the big four there?
Big four I've got is let's see, I've got Gonzaga, Stanford, USC, and Connecticut, UConn.
Wow.
I don't know. South Carolina, I know they're good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking on the wrong bracket. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Let me rephrase. I have South Carolina, Stanford, Iowa, and UConn.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say that's a whole lot of upset going on.
I'm sorry.
Where is LSU? Where's LSU? Are they like a 2 seed?
They get beat by Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh, Iowa in the regional final. Okay.
I have LSU and Iowa in the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
that game would get a lot of viewage.
It will, and I think Iowa's going to win it. Win that Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to spoil the championship game?
I don't think you can. I think it's already baked into the equation, but go ahead.
Like South Carolina versus Iowa baked into the equation?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me put it to you this way. The LSU Iowa game will get more eyeballs than the South Carolina Iowa championship game.
I actually agree with that.
Maybe so, but I think that would probably hype people up. And then if what's her name?
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. If she wins, then I think the Final Four would get a really good viewage just because of she had that great game versus LSU, and then she keeps it rolling. So I don't know. There just might be people that watch that, and then there's more people that. But you might be right. But I think but any of those games would be watched a lot by. And it's amazing because they. I mean, I don't know. I don't follow that well. I mean, the Oklahoma women's, she's done well. She came from, I think, Creighton or Drake, one of the two, and OU had 3 or 4 straight bad years. I mean, Sherry Cole had them rolling there for a while, but she came in and I mean, she's made the tournament's 3rd straight year and won the conference regular season the last 2 years. And this year they were like 8-5 going into the Big 12, and they end up winning the conference. They lost to and then they end up winning the Big 12 championship. They just completely turned it on starting in January.
Who you got there, Kulik?
So I have South Carolina, Iowa playing in the championship game. I have South Carolina beating Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of baked into the thing. I don't think anybody's going to handle. What are they? They've lost like 3 games in 2 years or something.
Yeah, they're like kind of those UConn teams were sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I have to tell you that I'm not a fan of South Carolina. I think they're like the Raiders of the they're a team everybody loves to hate. And so that's
And if it's Caitlin Clark, I mean,
they're actually
everyone
good. So the Patriots.
Yeah, I hear you. I'd pull for Caitlin Clark. I'd pull for LSU. I'd pull for anybody but them. But so there you go.
I would. Yeah. I mean, being Big Ten and I'm not a Hawkeye fan. Okay, I'm a Husker, but I would go for them over South Carolina. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I agree with that. I don't think it's going to happen either. No, not this year. Not this year. Anyway,
Iowa's
gentlemen,
the 1 seed, right? Iowa's the 1 seed, right?
No, it is a 1 seed, yes, but South Carolina is the number one seed.
Yeah, aren't they? They haven't lost. They undefeated, aren't they? This year, right? Or did they haven't lost?
Have they lost this year, Kulik?
That's a good question. Let me look here. I do. Let me Google it. I do not know if they have lost this year or not.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
But Dawn Staley really is a Gino Amaretto kind of coach. I mean, just very good recruiting.
They're 32-0. They're
32-0. Yeah, just saw that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Craziness. Well, anyway, gentlemen, we got to get on out of here. We're running about 40 minutes, and before we go, of course, does anybody have any shout-outs, anything they want to celebrate, anything they want to talk about before we head on out of here? What you got, Mr. Sooner Thrawn?
Go ahead, Kulik. Let me think.
Well, I just got to give Denver sports an attaboy because Colorado Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets, although currently not sitting on the top of their divisions, they're real close and they're doing good. And we need some of that love after we have the Denver Broncos and the Colorado Rockies. So,
I got to say the Mavericks. They beat Denver, so that was a good win on Sunday. We'll take that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's stealing a little bit of my thunder, but I actually want to drill down a little bit and ask you guys if you saw that last-second shot that Kyrie Irving put in.
Yes.
That was one of the most amazing shots ever, so I want to give Mr. Kyrie Irving a shout-out. And
I agree.
I
don't want to, but I got to agree.
Who's the guy that almost broke, but he didn't break it? Chamberlain. He got within one.
Yes, he got within one of Gafford, Daniel Gafford. Got within 1 point of getting his name ahead of Will Chamberlain in the record.
He got within one. He's one behind in consecutive field goals.
Yep.
I'll do one more. I do one more because I think Nikola Jokic deserves this. He is now past King LeBron James on all-time triple-doubles. So.
Wow.
So we'll give another shout out.
Really? Wow.
Well, you know who's going to have that record before it's all said and done.
Who's that?
You know who it is.
Luka.
Dallas Maverick. Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic.
So he gets it in assist a lot too? He gets that many? No. The Denver guy.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, he does. He's a triple-double kind of guy too.
Yep. I know he's that good at assists though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, time for me to go to bed.
Yep.
Same.
And I will see you next time. Thanks a lot for a great show tonight, and for everybody listening, make sure you check out the Sportspage Pundits.
There you go. Enjoy the madness.
Exactly. It's March. Enjoy the madness.
See you later.
Be good, guys.
Peace.